The elevator doors slide open with a metallic whisper. Madison Cole steps onto the 23rd floor, her burgundy blazer perfectly tailored. 9 years of blood, sweat, and late nights built this design empire. Her team buzzes around sleek workstations, creativity flowing like electricity through glass walls. The morning light catches her wavy brown hair as she surveys her domain. Every corner of this floor tells her story of dedication and sacrifice. She earned every promotion, every client win, every moment of respect. Her team looks up as she passes, genuine smiles lighting their faces. These aren't just employees, they're her creative family, her chosen warriors. Madison settles at her standing desk, reviewing the Meridian campaign mock-ups. The presentation scheduled for Friday could secure their biggest contract yet. Her fingers trace the design concepts, pride swelling in her chest. Suddenly, the main conference room door slams open with violent force. Every head turns toward the sound, like startled deer. A tall figure in an expensive navy suit strides through the workspace. Ethan Parker, 26 years old, carries himself like inherited royalty. His blonde hair is slicked back, his smile sharp as broken glass. The nephew walks with the swagger of unearned power. Madison's stomach drops as recognition floods her system like ice water. She's seen him at company holiday parties, lurking near his uncle, the CEO's golden boy, fresh from his MBA program. Ethan stops directly in front of her desk, hands planted firmly. His eyes scan the creative floor like a general surveying conquered territory. The entire design team freezes, sensing the shift in atmospheric pressure. Madison rises slowly, her 5'6" frame matching his intimidating presence. Her brown eyes narrow, reading the dangerous energy radiating from him. Something terrible is about to happen. She can feel it coming. Ethan's voice cuts through the silence like a blade through silk. "Uncle said I'm the boss now." The words hang in the air like a death sentence. "You'll do what I say, or you'll be gone by Friday." Every designer within earshot stops breathing simultaneously. Madison's heart pounds against her ribcage like a caged bird. 9 years of dedication suddenly feels like nothing more than vapor. Her team's faces reflect shock, confusion, and growing anger. Ethan continues his declaration with cruel satisfaction spreading across his features. "Effective immediately, I'm implementing a complete organizational restructure." Madison forces herself to remain calm despite the rage building inside. Her voice emerges steady, professional, but with underlying steel beneath. "I wasn't aware of any leadership changes or restructuring plans." Ethan's laugh is cold, calculated, designed to humiliate and diminish. "Well, now you are aware, Madison." He pronounces her name like it tastes bitter on his tongue. "The Meridian project will be reassigned to more qualified personnel." Her blood turns to molten lava flowing through her veins. The project she's nurtured for 3 months, stolen with casual cruelty. Around them, her team members exchange worried glances and whispered concerns. Sarah, her lead graphic designer, takes a tentative step forward. Ethan's sharp gaze cuts her down before she can speak. "I'll be selecting team leaders based on loyalty and fresh perspectives." The implication hangs heavy. Madison represents the outdated old guard. Her fingers grip the desk edge until her knuckles turn white. 9 years of building relationships, fostering talent, creating award-winning campaigns, all dismissed with a wave of his privileged, manicured hand. Ethan pulls out a leather portfolio, flipping pages with theatrical precision. Jessica Manning will now lead the Meridian Creative Development Team. Jessica, a talented but junior designer, looks mortified by the announcement. She never asked for this promotion built on someone else's destruction. Tom Richards will oversee all client relations and strategy meetings. Tom, hired just 6 months ago, shifts uncomfortably under everyone's stares. Madison watches her carefully constructed world crumble in real time. The nephew continues dismantling her legacy with surgical, deliberate precision. All current project assignments will be reviewed and potentially redistributed. Her team's faces show a mixture of fear and defiant loyalty. These people followed her through company mergers, budget cuts, impossible deadlines. Now they're being treated like pawns on Ethan's personal chessboard. Madison's mind races, calculating responses, measuring potential consequences carefully. She could explode right now, unleash 9 years of frustrated ambition. But that's exactly what he expects, what he's hoping for. Her silence becomes her weapon, her composure a shield against humiliation. Ethan mistakes her quiet strength for defeated submission and compliance. His smile grows wider, more satisfied with each passing second. I trust there won't be any resistance to these necessary changes. The word necessary drips with condescension and barely concealed contempt. Madison's team looks to her for guidance, for some sign of hope. She meets each of their eyes, communicating volumes without words. This isn't surrender, this is strategic patience before the real battle begins. Her voice emerges calm, professional, betraying none of her inner fury. I'll need to review these changes with HR and legal. Ethan's confident expression flickers momentarily, surprise creeping across his features. He expected tears, arguments, maybe even a dramatic storming out. Instead, he faces a woman who's played corporate politics longer than he's been alive. That won't be necessary, Madison. His tone carries the finality of someone accustomed to absolute obedience. Uncle Charles has already approved all personnel and structural modifications. The mention of the CEO's name is meant to crush any remaining resistance. Madison nods slowly, her expression unreadable as carved marble. Inside, her mind works like a precision instrument, formulating battle plans. She's survived office politics, glass ceilings, and countless power-hungry executives. Ethan Parker might have family connections, but he's about to learn something. Madison Cole didn't build this empire to watch it burn. The war for dignity, respect, and justice is about to begin. And she's going to fight with everything she's got. Madison's fingers tremble as memories flood back like a broken dam. 9 years ago, she stood outside this same building in Manhattan. The towering glass structure reflected her ambitious 25-year-old face back at her. Her resignation letter from Valentino crumpled in her designer purse. She'd walked away from fashion royalty for something more meaningful. Richard Parker had promised creative freedom, unlimited artistic expression, boundless possibilities. His words echoed in her mind during that first elevator ride. Build something extraordinary, Madison, something that's truly yours. The memory burns now, knowing his nephew is destroying everything. She remembers her first day, walking through empty floors and dusty corners. The design department existed only as a concept, a dream waiting for life. 3 bare rooms, outdated computers, and 0 creative talent on staff. Most people would have seen obstacles, but Madison saw pure potential. She spent weeks interviewing hundreds of candidates from across the country. Each hire was deliberate, strategic, like assembling pieces of a masterpiece. Sarah Martinez was fresh from art school, hungry and brilliantly intuitive. Madison saw her raw talent sketching during their coffee shop interview. The girl's hands moved like magic, bringing concepts to life instantly. Tom Richards came from a failing Detroit advertising agency, battle-scarred but determined. His portfolio showed campaigns that could make grown men weep. Madison hired him on the spot, recognizing a kindred creative spirit. Jessica Manning arrived from Los Angeles, carrying dreams bigger than skyscrapers. Her digital designs pushed boundaries that others feared to approach. Madison mentored each one like a protective older sister, nurturing family. Late nights became their shared language, pizza boxes their common currency. She'd find Sarah sleeping at her desk after marathon design sessions. Madison would drape her jacket over the girl's shoulders, let her rest. Tom struggled with confidence after his previous company's brutal layoffs. Madison spent hours rebuilding his self-worth, celebrating every small victory. Jessica battled imposter syndrome, feeling unworthy of her obvious talent. Madison became her champion, pushing her toward greatness with gentle persistence. The team grew from 3 to 15, each addition carefully chosen. Madison created a culture of collaboration, creativity, and mutual respect. They weren't just colleagues, they were artists, building something revolutionary together. The first major presentation came 6 months into Madison's tenure. Richard Parker sat stone-faced as she unveiled their rebranding concept. Her hands shook, but her voice remained steady and confident. The designs were bold, innovative, completely different from corporate standards. For 30 seconds, silence filled the boardroom like poisonous gas. Then Richard smiled, the first genuine expression she'd ever seen. "Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, Madison. This changes everything for us." That moment validated every risk, every sleepless night, every creative gamble. But success brought new challenges, bigger obstacles to overcome daily. Budget meetings became battlefields where Madison fought for her team. Richard's financial advisors wanted cheaper alternatives, corner-cutting solutions everywhere. Madison refused to compromise quality for quarterly profit margins. She'd storm into his office, armed with market research and passion. Every dollar spent on creativity returns 10 in brand recognition. Her arguments were mathematical, emotional, and ultimately persuasive every single time. The International Fashion Weeks tested everyone's limits and creative endurance. Milan, Paris, New York. Each show demanded perfection under impossible deadlines. Madison would find team members crying from exhaustion and overwhelming pressure. She'd sit beside them, offering encouragement and sharing her own struggles. "We're not just creating clothes. We're crafting dreams people can wear." Her words became their rallying cry during the darkest creative moments. The standing ovation in Milan changed everything for the entire team. 2,000 fashion industry leaders rose to their feet applauding. Madison's eyes filled with tears as cameras captured their triumph. But she wasn't thinking about personal glory or professional recognition. She was thinking about Sarah's first successful sketch, Tom's growing confidence. She was thinking about Jessica's breakthrough moment and the late-night celebrations. This success belonged to all of them, built through collective sacrifice. Vogue featured their collection on the cover 3 months later. The headline read, "Madison, Cole redefines American fashion with revolutionary vision." She framed copies for everyone, celebrating the team achievement together. Harper's Bazaar called them the most innovative design house in America. Business Week profiled Madison as one of the year's top executives. Each accolade felt earned through blood, sweat, and shared creative tears. Richard Parker beamed at shareholder meetings, praising their remarkable achievements. Revenue increased 40%. Brand recognition soared to unprecedented heights. Madison's department became the company's crown jewel, their competitive advantage. She built something beautiful, something meaningful, something that mattered deeply. The team trusted her judgment, followed her vision, believed in dreams. They'd work weekends without complaint, knowing Madison appreciated their dedication. She remembered birthdays, celebrated promotions, mourned personal losses with them. When Sarah's mother died, Madison held her while she sobbed. When Tom's divorce finalized, Madison helped him find a new apartment. When Jessica doubted her abilities, Madison reminded her of her incredible talent. These weren't just professional relationships, they were bonds forged through shared purpose. That's what made Ethan's power grab feel like ultimate betrayal. He'd never stayed past 6 o'clock or missed a weekend vacation. He'd never fought budget battles or defended creative integrity against criticism. He'd never held a crying teammate or celebrated their breakthrough moments. Yet here he stood, claiming ownership of their collective labor. Madison's jaw clenched as the present reality crashed back into focus. 9 years of building, nurturing, protecting, and growing this creative family. All dismissed by a privileged nephew who'd never earned anything meaningful. The insult burned deeper than professional humiliation. This was personal warfare. Ethan might have his uncle's name, but Madison had something more powerful. She had loyalty, experience, and a team ready to fight back. Madison's breathing slows as years of corporate warfare training kicks in. Her mind shifts into strategic mode, analyzing Ethan like a chess opponent. Every gesture, every word choice reveals crucial information about his weaknesses. The way his eyes dart around when discussing technical design details. How he overcompensates with expensive suits and rehearsed executive speak. His nervous habit of straightening his tie when asked specific questions. Madison has seen dozens of pretenders climb corporate ladders through connections. They all share the same fatal flaw: they believe confidence equals competence. Ethan continues his power display, oblivious to her silent psychological assessment. I want fresh energy, bold new directions for our upcoming collections. His voice carries practiced authority, but his fashion vocabulary feels hollow. Madison notices how he avoids eye contact when discussing creative processes. The subtle tells of someone desperately trying to sound knowledgeable. Sarah exchanges a worried glance with Tom across the workspace. Jessica shifts uncomfortably, clearly uncomfortable with the sudden leadership change. But Madison catches something else in their expressions: quiet defiance brewing. Her team knows quality leadership when they see it, and this isn't it. Ethan moves through the workspace like a general inspecting his troops. He stops at Jessica's workstation, examining her latest digital mock-ups. These designs look a bit too avant-garde for mainstream consumer appeal. Jessica's jaw tightens, but she remains professionally silent and composed. Madison watches the interaction, noting how Ethan misses the design's subtle brilliance. His critique reveals fundamental misunderstanding of their target market demographics. Ethan approaches Tom's desk next, rifling through campaign strategy documents. We need more focus on immediate sales rather than long-term brand building. Tom's face reddens, but he nods curtly instead of launching counterarguments. Madison feels proud, watching her team maintain professional dignity under pressure. They're waiting for her signal, trusting her judgment despite the chaos. Later that afternoon, Ethan calls an impromptu all-hands creative meeting. Madison sits in the back, observing his performance with clinical detachment. He's prepared a presentation about modernizing their creative direction and processes. His slides are generic corporate templates downloaded from basic business websites. The team sits politely, but Madison catches their subtle eye rolls. I've been analyzing our recent collections and identifying improvement opportunities. Ethan clicks to a slide, showing their award-winning feminist empowerment campaign. This particular line feels too political, too niche for broad appeal. Sarah's pencil snaps in her grip, the sound echoing through silence. Madison places a calming hand on her shoulder, steadying her reaction. We need designs that celebrate femininity without making bold political statements. The irony isn't lost on Madison, their most successful collection being criticized. Something sexy and easy to sell, appealing to traditional consumer preferences. Madison's teeth grind together, but her expression remains perfectly neutral. 9 years of fighting for authentic female representation dismissed casually. Their breakthrough collection that changed industry standards, suddenly deemed problematic. Jessica raises her hand tentatively, her voice carefully controlled and professional. Sir, that collection increased our sales by 60% last quarter. Ethan waves dismissively, not bothering to check the actual sales data. Past performance doesn't guarantee future success in evolving fashion markets. His answer reveals he hasn't reviewed their quarterly reports or market analysis. Madison makes mental notes of every factual error and missed opportunity. The meeting continues with Ethan making increasingly questionable creative suggestions. He wants to add sparkles to their minimalist professional wear line, suggests bright pink accents for their sophisticated executive collection series. Each suggestion demonstrates his complete disconnect from their brand identity. Madison watches her team's faces transform from confusion to barely contained amusement. Tom covers his mouth to hide a smirk when Ethan mispronounces couture. Sarah doodles on her notepad to avoid making eye contact completely. Jessica stares at her laptop screen, shoulders shaking with suppressed laughter. The breaking point comes during Thursday's critical sponsor meeting. Madison sits beside Ethan as he presents to their biggest investor. Mr. Harrison from Lux Fashion Group flew in specifically for this presentation. Ethan confidently discusses their upcoming runway show in Milan next month. We're showcasing our new haute culture collection, with emphasis on accessibility. Madison winces internally. The term is haute couture, not haute culture. Mr. Harrison raises an eyebrow, but remains diplomatically silent throughout. Ethan continues describing their chiffon pieces as having superior durability. Chiffon is notoriously delicate, the exact opposite of durable fabric. Madison watches Mr. Harrison's expression shift from confusion to concerned bewilderment. Our target demographic appreciates both luxury aesthetics and practical functionality simultaneously. The sentence sounds impressive but means absolutely nothing in fashion context. Mr. Harrison leans forward, clearly trying to understand Ethan's creative vision. Can you elaborate on your silhouette strategy for the fall collection? Ethan freezes momentarily, his confident facade cracking under technical questioning. Well, we're focusing on shapes that are both geometric and organic. Another meaningless phrase that reveals his complete lack of design understanding. Madison jumps in smoothly, rescuing the rapidly deteriorating business meeting. What Ethan means is we're balancing structured tailoring with fluid draping. Mr. Harrison nods appreciatively, finally hearing actual fashion terminology and expertise. Madison continues explaining their real creative strategy with precise technical language. Ethan sits silently, clearly grateful for her professional intervention and rescue. After Mr. Harrison leaves, Madison processes what just happened strategically. She saved the meeting, but more importantly, she demonstrated something crucial. Ethan desperately needs her expertise to avoid complete professional humiliation. His dependence on her knowledge becomes a powerful leverage point. Madison smiles slightly, her strategic mind already formulating the perfect counterattack. Sometimes the best way to defeat an enemy is letting them defeat themselves. Ethan's arrogance and incompetence will become his own worst enemy. She just needs to be patient, document everything, and let him stumble. The trap is being set, and Ethan is walking directly into it. 3 weeks pass, like a slow-motion train wreck unfolding before Madison's eyes. Ethan's leadership style becomes increasingly erratic and destructive with each passing day. The Meridian project deadline looms, but he's completely ignored the client's specifications. Instead of working, he's throwing elaborate networking parties with the company credit card. Expensive champagne flows, while critical design work remains unfinished and abandoned. Madison watches from her reassigned corner desk, documenting every costly mistake. The Ashford Group contract, worth $2 million, slips through his fingers. He showed up 30 minutes late to their presentation, obviously hungover. His pitch confused minimalism with maximalism, insulting their sophisticated aesthetic preferences. Madison's jaw clenches as years of relationship building crumble in real time. Mr. Ashford called her personally, expressing disappointment in the company's direction. "We expected better from your team, Madison. This was beneath you." The words sting because she's powerless to fix Ethan's incompetent damage. Her professional reputation suffers while he plays executive dress-up games. Thursday morning brings the breaking point Madison has been dreading most. Lila Chen, their newest designer, sits crying at her workstation openly. The 22-year-old's portfolio showed incredible promise just months ago. Madison hired her straight from Parsons, seeing herself in Lila's ambitious eyes. Now the girl's confidence is shattered, her creativity crushed under Ethan's criticism. Madison approaches quietly, her maternal instincts overriding corporate politics completely. Lila looks up with red-rimmed eyes, mascara streaking down her cheeks. "He hated everything, Madison. Said my designs were too intellectual for consumers." Madison's heart breaks watching this talented young woman doubt her abilities. Lila's collection explored themes of cultural identity through innovative textile combinations. The work was sophisticated, meaningful, exactly what their brand represented best. But Ethan demanded something more mainstream, more commercially safe and predictable. He wants crop tops and mini skirts, nothing that makes people think. Madison helps Lila to the restroom, away from curious and sympathetic stares. The fluorescent lights buzz overhead as Lila sobs against the marble counter. "I thought fashion could be art, that we could change perspectives." Her words echo Madison's own dreams from 20 years ago exactly. Back then, male executives dismissed her ideas as too feminine or complicated. They wanted pretty clothes for pretty girls, nothing deeper or more meaningful. Madison fought those battles so the next generation wouldn't have to. Now she watches history repeating itself with devastating familiar precision. "I worked 80 hours on that collection, and he dismissed it immediately." Lila's voice cracks with exhaustion and heartbreak that Madison recognizes intimately. "Your work is brilliant, Lila. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." Madison's words carry the weight of experience and hard-won wisdom. That night, Madison stays late, her plan crystallizing with surgical precision. She opens her laptop and begins methodically collecting digital evidence. Ethan's email trail reveals a pattern of questionable decisions and wasteful spending. Party invoices charged to client development, exceeding budgets by 300%. Unauthorized contracts signed without legal review or proper authorization procedures. Budget allocations shifted from design resources to his personal entertainment expenses. Madison screenshots everything, building an airtight case against his leadership. Her finance background proves invaluable, as she traces money trails carefully. Every inappropriate expense, every missed deadline, every client complaint gets documented. The evidence folder grows thicker, with each damning email and receipt. Friday brings the confrontation Madison has been anticipating for weeks. Ethan storms into the design floor, his face flushed with anger. The Meridian presentation was a complete disaster, and he needs someone to blame. His eyes lock onto Madison, with unmistakable hostility and brewing vengeance. "This is your fault, Madison. Your team's lack of support sabotaged me." The accusation is absurd, but she remains calm and professionally composed. Ethan continues his tirade, his voice rising with each desperate accusation. "You've been undermining my authority since day one, with subtle sabotage." Madison's team gathers around their workstations, witnessing his public meltdown unfold. His desperation is palpable as the walls close in around him. The nephew who thought power was inherited is learning it must be earned. "I should have kicked you to the curb the first day." His threat hangs in the air like toxic smoke, poisoning everything. Madison rises slowly from her desk, her composure unshaken by his outburst. Her voice cuts through his hysteria with calm, surgical precision perfectly. "I've been nothing but professional despite your complete lack of qualifications." The truth lands like a slap across his privileged face. Ethan's eyes narrow with pure malice, an unchecked personal vendetta forming. "You think you're irreplaceable, but you're just another employee here." His words reveal the fundamental misunderstanding that will destroy him completely. Madison isn't just another employee, she's the foundation this empire was built upon. Without her expertise, relationships, and creative vision, everything crumbles to dust. That realization is slowly dawning on the executives who matter most. Richard Parker has been fielding increasingly concerned calls from major clients. Investors are questioning the sudden drop in creative quality and innovation. The board of directors is asking uncomfortable questions about recent performance metrics. Madison's evidence folder sits ready on her desktop, waiting for perfect timing. She won't strike until the moment delivers maximum impact and destruction. Ethan's empire of privilege is cracking, but she needs it to shatter completely. The final blow requires patience, strategy, and absolutely perfect timing. Monday morning will bring the reckoning he never saw coming toward him. Madison's war isn't just about justice, it's about protecting future generations. Lila deserves better than a world where talent bows to privilege. Every young designer deserves the chance to create art that changes minds. Madison built something beautiful once, and she'll tear down anyone threatening it. The nephew's reign of terror is about to end permanently. Monday morning arrives like an executioner's blade cutting through Madison's fragile hope. She senses the shift the moment she steps off the elevator. Her team avoids eye contact, their faces pale with obvious dread. Sarah pretends to study her computer screen with unusual intense focus. Tom fidgets with papers, his nervous energy filling the entire workspace. Jessica stares out the window like she's contemplating jumping from it. The air feels thick, with unspoken tragedy and impending professional disaster. Madison's heels click against marble floors as she approaches her desk. A sealed envelope waits there, her name written in corporate letterhead. Her hands tremble slightly as she tears open the official document. The words blur together at first, then snap into devastating clarity. Effective immediately, Madison Cole is removed from all fall fashion show responsibilities. The sentence hits her like a physical blow to the chest. Creative direction will be handled exclusively by Mr. Ethan Parker and Associates. 9 years of building toward this moment, stolen with administrative cruelty. The fall fashion show represents everything she's worked toward achieving. Her feminist empowerment collection was supposed to debut in 6 weeks. Months of late nights, creative breakthroughs, and team collaboration wasted completely. Madison forces herself to remain standing despite her trembling legs. Around her, the design floor falls silent as news spreads rapidly. Ethan emerges from the conference room with a satisfied smirk. His cronies follow behind him like loyal puppies seeking attention. Brad Morrison from marketing, promoted far beyond his actual creative abilities. Kevin Walsh from sales, who thinks fashion is just pretty clothes. Neither man has ever created anything meaningful in their entire careers. Yet they're inheriting her life's work, her creative legacy destroyed. Ethan's voice carries across the workspace with theatrical authority and cruelty. This show will represent our new vision, our fresh creative direction. Madison's jaw clenches as she watches him gesture dismissively toward her. We need designs that appeal to mainstream consumers, not niche audiences. The insult cuts deep because he's describing her award-winning feminist collection. Her team's faces reflect the same devastation she feels internally. Sarah's eyes fill with tears she's desperately trying to hold back. Tom's fists clench and unclench beneath his desk repeatedly. Jessica looks physically ill, her face pale and drawn tight. These people believed in her vision, trusted her creative leadership completely. Now they're watching their mentor publicly humiliated and professionally castrated. Madison walks to each of their desks, her voice barely above whisper. Keep creating. Keep believing in your talent. This isn't over yet. Her words sound hollow even to herself, but she needs them hopeful. The rest of the day passes in surreal, nightmare-like slow motion. Madison watches strangers dissect her creative work like surgical specimens. Brad suggests adding sequins to her minimalist professional wear line. Kevin wants bright colors for her sophisticated monochrome evening collection. Every suggestion reveals their fundamental misunderstanding of fashion design principles. Her team sits in stunned silence, witnessing artistic vandalism unfold. By 5 o'clock, Madison can't endure another moment of torture. She gathers her personal items with whatever dignity remains intact. Her framed Vogue cover goes into a cardboard box, sadly. The team photo from Milan Fashion Week follows next carefully. 9 years of achievements reduced to a few precious memorabilia items. Her team surrounds her desk like mourners at a funeral service. We'll quit if you want us to, Madison. Say the word. Sarah's loyalty brings tears. Madison refuses to let fall publicly. Stay and protect what you can. Document everything that happens here. Her strategic mind still functions despite the emotional devastation she feels. That evening, Madison sits alone in the empty design studio. The overhead lights are dimmed, casting long shadows across abandoned workstations. Her unfinished sketches lie scattered across her former drafting table. Each drawing represents hours of inspiration, creativity, and passionate dedication. The feminist empowerment collection stares back at her accusingly now. Bold silhouettes that celebrated female strength and professional confidence completely. Colors that commanded respect, rather than begging for male approval. Designs that made women feel powerful, instead of merely decorative objects. All of it destined for Ethan's commercial garbage bin tomorrow morning. Madison's phone buzzes against the silence, startling her from grief. Sophie Chen's name appears on the glowing screen like divine intervention. Her college roommate, now senior fashion editor at Harper's Bazaar magazine. They've maintained their friendship through 20 years of career struggles. Sophie's voice carries warmth and concern through the phone speaker immediately. I heard through industry channels about your situation. Are you okay? Madison's composure finally cracks as she explains today's professional humiliation. The words pour out like water through a broken dam. Ethan's incompetence, the team's devastation, her life's work being destroyed. Sophie listens with the patience of someone who understands creative passion. Darling, this isn't the end. This is your opportunity for revolution. Her friend's words spark something dangerous in Madison's wounded heart. The fall fashion show is in 6 weeks, broadcasted internationally. Every major fashion critic, buyer, and influencer will be watching closely. If Ethan fails spectacularly, everyone will witness his complete incompetence. Madison's mind begins calculating possibilities with renewed strategic focus and energy. Sophie continues painting the picture of potential public vindication beautifully. I can ensure every fashion journalist asks the right uncomfortable questions. About creative vision, design philosophy, the artistic direction choices made. Questions Ethan can't answer without revealing his complete lack of knowledge. Madison feels her fighting spirit returning like fire, igniting in darkness. This isn't surrender, this is strategic repositioning for total victory later. Sometimes you have to let enemies hang themselves with their rope. Ethan wants to fail publicly. She'll make sure everyone watches. The fashion world will witness his humiliation on the biggest stage. Sophie's apartment becomes their war room, scattered with sketches and strategic plans. Madison stares at the wall covered with fashion show timelines and industry contacts. Her friend pours another glass of wine as they plot their revenge. We're not just creating a collection, we're starting a revolution, Madison. Sophie's words ignite something fierce and determined in Madison's wounded heart. The plan crystallizes over the next 3 hours of intense creative collaboration. They'll create a parallel show, a counter-narrative to Ethan's commercial disaster. Every design will carry a message of female empowerment and professional strength. Not pretty clothes for decoration, but armor for women conquering boardrooms. Sophie's connections at Harper's Bazaar guarantee international media coverage completely. Fashion Week will witness 2 competing visions of what women should represent. Madison's phone buzzes with a text from Sarah at midnight exactly. We're in. Whatever you need, we're ready to fight back. The message includes a group photo of her entire team working late. Even removed from official duties, they choose Madison over Ethan's authority. Their loyalty brings tears. Madison no longer bothers to hide anymore. Tuesday morning, Madison meets her team at a small cafe downtown. Away from corporate surveillance, they can speak freely about their rebellion. The atmosphere is electric with excitement and dangerous creative energy flowing. Sarah slides Madison a flash drive containing all their original design files. I copied everything before Ethan could destroy our real creative work. Tom produces fabric samples he secretly ordered, using his personal credit. Jessica reveals she's been working on digital mock-ups every night. The conspiracy grows stronger with each act of beautiful creative defiance. Madison looks around the table at these brave, talented faces. These aren't just employees anymore, they're soldiers in her creative army. We're going to show the world what real fashion looks like. Her voice carries the authority of someone who's found her purpose. The next 4 weeks become a blur of secret meetings and clandestine creativity. Madison's apartment transforms into an underground design studio after midnight. Sewing machines hum quietly while the city sleeps around them. Sarah works on hand-beating details that shimmer like captured starlight. Tom perfects color combinations that speak to female ambition and power. Jessica creates digital presentations that will make editors weep with recognition. The collection grows piece by piece, stitch by stitch, dream by dream. Each garment tells a story of women refusing to be diminished. A blazer that commands respect in any boardroom anywhere globally. A dress that celebrates curves without sexualizing or objectifying the wearer. Pants that allow women to stride confidently through male-dominated spaces. Every design counters decades of fashion that made women feel small. Meanwhile, Ethan's official preparations become increasingly chaotic and desperate daily. Madison receives regular intelligence reports from her team still inside. Brad changed the color palette 6 times in 2 weeks, completely. Kevin demanded shorter hemlines to show more skin for sales. The feminist empowerment collection is being transformed into mainstream commercial garbage. Everything meaningful stripped away for mass market appeal and profit. Madison watches from afar as her life's work gets butchered systematically. But the pain fuels her determination to prove them wrong. Sophie arranges secret photo shoots with top fashion photographers for documentation. The images are breathtaking, powerful women wearing Madison's revolutionary designs beautifully. Models of different ages, races, and body types showcase inclusive beauty. These aren't traditional fashion photos, but portraits of female strength. Each image will accompany Harper's Bazaar's exclusive feature story. The article will contrast Madison's vision against Ethan's commercial betrayal. 3 weeks before Fashion Week, the team faces their biggest challenge. Production costs are draining their personal savings accounts rapidly and completely. Madison mortgages her apartment to fund the final fabric orders. Sarah sells her car to pay for professional tailoring assistance. Tom empties his retirement account for marketing and venue costs. The financial sacrifice bonds them deeper than any corporate contract could. They're not just creating fashion, they're investing in their shared future. Late nights blur together in coffee-fueled creative sessions and bonding moments. Laughter echoes through Madison's apartment as they perfect each detail. Sarah tells stories about her grandmother's sewing circle building community. Tom shares his struggles growing up poor but dreaming of beauty. Jessica opens up about imposter syndrome, plaguing her entire career. These conversations weave their personal stories into every fabric choice. The collection becomes more than clothing, it becomes their collective autobiography. Madison realizes she's not just fighting for herself anymore completely. She's fighting for Sarah's right to create without male approval. She's fighting for Tom's vision of inclusive, accessible beauty for everyone. She's fighting for Jessica's confidence to trust her incredible talents. She's fighting for Lila and every young designer facing discrimination. She's fighting for women who've been told they're too much. Too political, too ambitious, too creative, too threatening to men. The fashion industry has silenced female voices for decades systematically. Madison's collection will scream what whispers couldn't accomplish before now. 2 weeks remain before their secret show debuts, alongside Fashion Week. Sophie confirms venue reservations at an intimate gallery space downtown. The guest list includes every major fashion critic and industry influencer. Invitations go out with mysterious messaging about witnessing fashion history. Meanwhile, Ethan's official show spirals toward predictable disaster and embarrassment. Madison's inside sources report daily catastrophes and creative failures mounting. Samples don't fit models, Colors clash horribly. Concepts lack coherence. The team Madison built watches helplessly as their work gets destroyed. But they know redemption is coming in 14 days exactly. The fashion world is about to witness a battle for creativity's soul. Madison's revolution begins with the first model stepping onto their runway. Everything they've sacrificed will be justified in those crucial 15 minutes. The Lincoln Center buzzes with fashion's most influential voices gathering for Fall Fashion Week. Camera flashes explode like lightning as celebrities arrive in designer gowns and suits. Madison watches from across the street, her heart pounding with nervous anticipation. Her team stands beside her, dressed in their own revolutionary designs. Tonight will determine whether 9 years of sacrifice meant anything at all. Ethan emerges from a black limousine, preening for photographers like a peacock. His custom tuxedo probably costs more than Madison's entire secret production budget. Confidence radiates from him as he waves to cameras with theatrical authority. He has no idea his empire is about to crumble publicly. Inside the main venue, 800 industry leaders fill elegant white chairs. Buyers from Bergdorf Goodman, editors from Vogue, critics from The Times. The fashion world's power structure assembled to witness creative greatness or failure. Ethan takes the stage with a microphone, his smile blindingly arrogant. Tonight represents a new era of accessible fashion for modern women everywhere. His voice booms through speakers, while Madison's team exchanges knowing glances. The first model emerges wearing what was once Madison's minimalist blazer design, but Ethan's modifications have destroyed its sophisticated elegance and professional power. Sequins cover the clean lines, destroying the garment's architectural beauty completely. Bright pink accents clash horribly with the sophisticated navy blue fabric. The fashion critics in the front row begin whispering among themselves. Anna Wintour removes her sunglasses, her expression shifting to visible confusion. The second model appears in a butchered version of Madison's empowerment dress. The hemline has been shortened to mini skirt length inappropriately. Cutout details sexualize what was meant to celebrate female strength. Madison's stomach churns watching her feminist vision transformed into male fantasy. Model after model showcases Ethan's commercial bastardization of her art. The collection lacks cohesion, vision, or any meaningful creative direction. Colors clash randomly, silhouettes contradict each other, messaging becomes completely muddled. The audience grows restless as 15 minutes of mediocrity drag on. Phones emerge as people check messages instead of paying attention. Fashion journalists stop taking notes, their interest visibly waning rapidly. Ethan doesn't notice the crowd's disappointment from his backstage position. His cronies Brad and Kevin nod enthusiastically, feeding his delusion of success. The final model exits to polite but underwhelmed applause from the audience. Ethan returns to the microphone, beaming with unwarranted satisfaction and pride. Thank you for witnessing the future of American fashion tonight. The applause dies quickly as guests begin gathering their belongings to leave. But suddenly, the venue's lights dim completely to dramatic black silence. A new spotlight illuminates the far end of the runway mysteriously. Madison appears like an avenging angel in her own powerful design. Her burgundy blazer commands attention, while her presence radiates unshakable confidence. She walks the runway alone, each step echoing through stunned silence. The audience recognizes her immediately, the real creative force behind the brand. Then her models begin emerging in breathtaking succession of revolutionary beauty. Each piece tells a story of female strength, ambition, and professional power. A charcoal suit that makes women look like CEOs, not decorations. An emerald dress that celebrates curves without exploitation or objectification. Flowing trousers that move like liquid confidence with every powerful stride. The collection flows like poetry, each piece building on the previous. Colors work in harmony, deep blues, rich burgundies, striking emerald greens. Every silhouette empowers rather than diminishes the woman wearing it. The audience rises slowly to their feet in genuine appreciation and respect. Anna Wintour begins applauding, her expression transformed to visible admiration. The sound builds like thunder rolling across the venue magnificently. Fashion's elite recognize authentic brilliance when they witness it live. Photographers' cameras flash frantically, capturing every revolutionary moment for history. Madison's team emerges from backstage, tears of joy streaming down faces. Sarah, Tom, Jessica, and Lila join the runway for their victory lap. The applause becomes deafening as the fashion world celebrates real creativity. Meanwhile, Ethan's face drains of color as reality crashes down. His confident smile crumbles into horrified understanding of complete defeat. Sophie appears at his elbow with a tablet displaying damning headlines. Harper's Bazaar exclusive. The real story behind fashion's biggest scandal. The article details every questionable expense, every missed deadline, every failure. Financial records show party expenses charged inappropriately to design budgets. Email screenshots reveal his complete lack of creative knowledge or input. Client testimonials describe meetings where Madison saved his incompetent presentations. The fashion world's social media explodes with praise for Madison's triumph. Hashtags trend worldwide. Madison Cole Revolution, real fashion leadership, authentic creativity. Ethan's corporate malfeasance spreads across industry publications like wildfire rapidly. Backstage chaos erupts as Richard Parker storms through security barriers. The CEO's face shows fury Madison has never witnessed before. His nephew cowers as evidence folders slam onto the makeup counter. Richard's voice cuts through backstage noise like a surgical blade. Unauthorized expenses totaling $300,000 in party costs alone. Ethan stammers excuses, while his uncle's disappointment fills the small space. The Ashford contract cancellation cost us $2 million in guaranteed revenue. Madison stands silently in the doorway, watching justice unfold naturally. Her burgundy blazer catches the harsh backstage lighting like a victory banner. Fire burns in her brown eyes, not anger but triumphant vindication. 9 years of building, creating, and nurturing finally receive proper recognition. Richard turns to her with genuine regret and professional respect. Madison, I owe you an apology and a conversation about your future. She nods once, her dignity intact despite months of public humiliation. Ethan looks between them desperately, realizing his privileged world is ending. Security escorts arrive to remove him from the venue permanently. His exit goes unnoticed as Madison's team celebrates their revolutionary victory. The fashion world has witnessed authentic leadership triumph over inherited privilege. Madison Cole has reclaimed her throne as the industry's creative queen. The morning after Fashion Week brings devastating headlines across every major publication. Parker Industries faces its worst public relations crisis in company history. Stock prices plummet 20% as investors question leadership and creative direction. Ethan's suspension becomes front-page news in the Wall Street Journal. Madison sits in her apartment, reading articles that vindicate 9 years. Her phone rings constantly with interview requests and collaboration offers. The fashion world wants to hear from the woman who exposed privilege. But Madison feels strangely calm amidst the media storm swirling around her. Victory tastes different than she imagined, bittersweet rather than purely triumphant. Tuesday morning, Richard Parker requests a private meeting with Madison personally. His corner office overlooks Manhattan, power radiating from every expensive detail. The man who built this empire looks older, worn down. His nephew's betrayal has shaken his faith in family loyalty completely. Madison, I owe you more than an apology for this disaster. His voice carries genuine remorse, mixed with desperate business pragmatism. The board is demanding immediate action to salvage our reputation and credibility. Our clients are threatening to terminate contracts because of this scandal. Madison sits silently, letting him reveal the full extent of damage. Your collection saved us from complete financial ruin and industry blacklisting. The admission costs him, but truth cannot be avoided anymore. I want you back as creative director with complete artistic authority. His offer includes a substantial raise in equity in the company. Madison looks out at the city skyline, considering her response carefully. 9 years ago, she would have accepted this offer immediately. The validation, the power, the financial security, everything she once wanted. But something fundamental shifted during those months of systematic humiliation and betrayal. She's learned that borrowed authority can be revoked at any moment. Power granted by others remains vulnerable to their changing whims. Richard, I appreciate your offer, but I won't be staying. Her words hang in the air like a declaration of independence. His face shows genuine surprise, mixed with growing business panic. Madison, be reasonable. Where else will you find this opportunity? The question reveals his fundamental misunderstanding of her transformation completely. She no longer needs his permission to build something extraordinary. Her talent, her vision, her team, these belong to her alone. I'm launching my own label with the team that never abandoned me. Richard's expression shifts from surprise to calculating business assessment rapidly. Madison, the fashion industry is brutal. Most startups fail within years. His warning carries the condescension of established power toward emerging threats. You'll be competing against companies with decades of infrastructure and connections. She stands, smoothing her burgundy blazer with quiet confidence and determination. Then we'll build something better, something that can't be taken away. Her departure from Parker Industries becomes industry legend within hours. Trade publications speculate about her next move while rivals panic quietly. Madison's apartment transforms into headquarters for her revolutionary business venture. Sarah arrives with incorporation papers and a bottle of celebration champagne. Tom brings color palettes for their new brand identity and marketing materials. Jessica presents digital mock-ups of their future website and social presence. Lila contributes fabric samples sourced from sustainable suppliers worldwide exclusively. The kitchen table becomes their boardroom, dreams their only business plan. Cole's studio emerges from collective ambition and shared creative vision perfectly. Every decision reflects their values: sustainability, inclusivity, authentic female empowerment. No compromises for mass market appeal or traditional masculine business expectations. The next 6 months blur together in beautiful entrepreneurial chaos and growth. Madison secures financing through women-focused investment groups and personal savings. Her Fashion Week triumph opens doors that privilege couldn't penetrate before. Boutique stores across Manhattan compete to stock their limited debut collection. Pre-orders exceed their wildest projections within the first week of availability. The fashion press chronicles every milestone of Cole Studios' meteoric rise. Meanwhile, Parker Industries continues struggling with their damaged reputation and credibility. Richard's attempts to hire new creative directors fail repeatedly and publicly. Potential candidates cite the toxic work environment and questionable corporate ethics. Madison's success highlights the company's creative bankruptcy even more starkly. 6 months later, Cole Studio debuts their second collection to universal acclaim. The show takes place in a converted warehouse in Brooklyn naturally. Raw brick walls and industrial lighting create authentic artistic atmosphere perfectly. No corporate sponsors, no inherited privilege, just pure creative expression unleashed. The audience includes fashion's most respected voices and emerging diverse talents. Models of all ages, races, and sizes showcase inclusive, revolutionary beauty. Each piece tells stories of women refusing to be diminished or commercialized. The standing ovation lasts 7 minutes, cameras capturing every emotional moment. Anna Wintour approaches Madison personally after the final model exits. Your vision represents fashion's future, not its past or traditional limitations. The endorsement from fashion's most powerful voice validates everything Madison built. That evening, Madison stands on her new office rooftop overlooking Manhattan. The city lights twinkle like stars she once thought unreachable. Her phone buzzes with a notification from Vogue's digital edition. The headline reads, Madison Cole redefines power in fashion's new era. The feature article spans 12 pages with stunning photography throughout. Her team's faces beam from glossy pages, their success story immortalized. Sarah's quote captures their collective journey perfectly and emotionally. Madison taught us that real power comes from creating, not inheriting. Madison smiles, feeling the weight of 9 years lifting from her shoulders. She built something extraordinary without asking anyone's permission for it. Cole's studio represents more than fashion, it's proof that authentic vision wins. The company she left behind struggles while her empire grows stronger. Richard Parker's phone calls go unanswered, his offers rejected completely. Madison doesn't need his approval or his family's questionable legacy anymore. She's created something better, something that reflects her values entirely. The rooftop wind catches her hair as she looks toward tomorrow. New collections await. New stories demand telling through revolutionary fabric and thread. A powerful woman doesn't need borrowed authority from men above her. She builds her own empire with vision, courage, and uncompromising creative integrity. Madison Cole stands victorious, stronger than ever, absolutely unstoppable now. If you believe in stories where women fight back and win, don't forget to like and subscribe for more.